मिटे जो प्यार के लिए वो जिंदगी, चले बहार के लिए वो जिंदगी, किसी को हो ना हो हमें तो एतबार, जीना इसी का नाम है, किसी के मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है।
So welcome to another episode of जीना इसी का नाम है। और अगर आपको कुछ ज़्यादा जानकारी चाहिए कि इसका नाम जीना इसी का नाम क्यों रखा है तो रश्मि से प्लीज़ पूछिए। So we are here to know more about Nivedita. We learned about her as a doctor, as a friend, as a guide. We'd like to learn more about her as a daughter, a wife, a mom, and a sister. So over here today we have Nivedita's dad, Nivedita's mom, Pratyansha, Surmay, and her proud husband Sanjay. So thank you for joining us on the couch. Unfortunately, we don't have any coffee. You know, we are budget strapped, so we don't have the same luxury of having coffee cups in the same setup. So, Uncle, I want to start with you. Knowing Nivedita, we are very proud of her. You know what she's done in life. How she raised her kids, how she keeps her husband in check. How she's molded him to the ideal husband.
We know how hard that was. But go on.
Let's just keep it offline. So, knowing her as a daughter, we are so proud, and I can only imagine how proud you would be about Nivedita. So,
well, thank you, Acheji. I think this is a good question for a father to answer. I have 3 children. But I do tell you that there is anybody who is close to perfection, there is nobody perfect, but close to perfection, then it is my eldest daughter, Nivedita. The first thing is there are 3 attributes she had, which is really unparalleled. One is she is emotional to all family members, which is an eternal gift to her. Second thing is that she's very passionate about her professional life, and that actually drove her every day to good work. And third thing is, which is kind of even I'm missing sometimes, that positive attitude about every relationship and every friendship. We do have sometimes criticize something, somebody, but I have never heard that this, like something when somebody did this and she was wrong or he was wrong. And she has always corrected me that keep this positive look about everyone. And I think this is, for that reason, she is my role model for that. I have to still learn things, but perfectly she has that great positive attitude.
So Uncle, this was inherent कि आपने कुछ खिलाया था निवेदिता को, मतलब जो ऐसे बनी है वो, मतलब हम लोग सब यही देखते हैं कि when we look at her and we wish our kids are the same.
Yeah, मार तो खिलाया था, क्योंकि I think from very beginning I was a tough father, so anything towards indiscipline she got punished. So I'm sure that may be the one reason that she's also scared of me in the beginning, but I think that pays off for her career and for her life. Basically, she's very responsible. Being an elder child, she's very responsible even to take care, her siblings and even the, other, cousins. And she had very positive about for the family structure. That is another thing I want to tell you, that in the individualistic society, people always talk about themselves, that this is me, this is me, this is me. But I have seen her in one characteristic in her, that from here to India. Everywhere she wants to connect with family members. And I feel that she is a real kind of, leader in that way to keep the family together. Not her only one, her family, but the broader family, towards the Sanjayji side and even in my side. And that's the beauty she has.
So for the kids watching this, make sure you love your family. And then the other thing is, if your parents try to discipline you, don't try to resist. Because if you don't, you'll end up like Nivedita. So Auntie, and we heard Uncle's perspective. I wanted to get your perspective as a mom. And how is it looking at her, as a child, as she's grown up and what she is today?
What she is today, it's like she would always listen, like whatever I would tell her to do. She wouldn't say that, oh, I'm not going to do this thing. So she was not rebellious kind of child.
Any one quality you wish she had? From what I've seen, she
she's very
is
caring.
perfection personified. So
She is very caring. That is one part I see her. And she's hardworking for whatever she has to do.
So any
And
one
goal-oriented.
any one quality that you wish she had? Because we cannot find anything. We try to find some more that maybe we can find a negative bone in our body, but we're unlucky so far.
I don't know. I
Like
have
you
to think about
mean that's
negative.
something which she should be improved upon? That you
For that, I would say these days she gets angry at the kids a lot.
But we just heard from Uncle, discipline is important. I mean, she wants to be successful, discipline is
No,
important.
discipline is different, and getting angry all the time is a different story. Because when I was raising them, usually I didn't have to use words to tell them that, okay, I'm upset about it. They knew just by my eyes that, okay, mom.
Kids, these three.
No, I don't.
Am I not a good kid? This
I
is
don't
news
think
to
it
me.
has to be that.
Well, I do.
Like they are a little hyper than what they were, but
Yeah.
But still, I think I would suggest that part I have also noticed that she brings her kind of work, all the stress from work. She should learn how to balance it. Once she comes in family, she should feel everything in a happy way to run the family. And that I have also, I concur this thing with Ava, that always kind of, you don't have to express word to the kids to be disciplined. Exactly, they should know from your behavior that you are happy or you are not happy.
So, Uncle, thank you. And we appreciate, knowing Nivedita in our lives, we appreciate all the contributions you've made into the person she is right now. We'll shift focus to Sanjay. You spent a good chunk of your life, Sanjay, with Nivedita, and you've seen her growth as well. How do you express your, the life you lived with Nivedita, and some of the high points in your life if you have to touch upon some of the things?
My highest point with regards to Nivedita was the lowest point of my own life. I think the time I lost my father, that was one of the lowest point of my life, and I don't know if I have been very open about my own struggle. I mentioned to you, Akshay, that I was on a depression medicine. I'm still not able to cope up with it, even though I go out and smile and play and everything. But my lowest point of my life was the highest point, that's okay, the highest point of our relationship. The way Nivedita pulled me from this abyss, and the way she showed me that everything happens for a reason. I am I was too imperfect. I never show empathy, even though I have a lot of regards for everyone. I never show empathy, and she said that maybe life meant to teach you that part. So I will say that she is the reason that I am stable today in last 1.5 years.
It's nice to know. I mean, in something we've seen as well, she is a calming influence to everybody within our group as well. Knowing Rashmi, Radhika, some of the others, whenever they need any kind of help, the first person they think of is Nivedita. So even though she's younger than some of them, she's still like the, I would say the, kind of like the father figure or whatever the female equivalent is. The mother figure. Thank you.
So the relationship that she might have with friends and the relationship she has with me is a little different, and we have different, I would say, strong strengths, and our weaknesses and strengths are complementary.
Does she have any weakness?
I mean, she does. She of course does, and so does everyone, right? So everyone. She was.
I mean, from what we know, this was getting same, anything.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So just to humanize her, and we both were. I mean, she was pretty young when she got married. I was not that young. She was 22. I was 30 years old. But we had our own struggles. We grew up in a completely different culture. I was going through my own struggles in life and have been struggling many times. She grew up in a completely different culture. And the debate about which culture is good or bad is not the question, but it was different. And so the initial part of our life was very stressful. Everyone knows it. But one thing that we both do very well is we sit at night, not now often, but the initial part of our life, we both used to sit and take a pen and a pencil and write down why we are struggling. And we do that today as well. Not that often, but we do that today as well. That's one of the things that has kept both of us going. And so the two things that is very important that has happened in our life. One is that we will evaluate ourselves, why we are struggling. And second, that both of us are not shy of accepting the fault. Like if I do the fault, maybe in an ego ideal world, I will not accept it. But after 1 week, I'll come back and accept it. And same as she will come back and say, yes, this was a wrong on our part. So we evaluate ourselves very well, and we are ready to change. I think both of us at this point of time have come to the conclusion that we don't matter at the end. We are running for something much more bigger. We haven't found it yet, but we both believe that we were meant to do something bigger. What it is, we'll find out in a little bit.
When you find out, please let us know, because we are in search of the same truth. So switching gears a little bit, Sanjay, thanks for that perspective. And it just reinforces what we knew about Nivedita. Everybody has this image of Nivedita as being very serious and very focused. But then I've also heard that she has a funny side that some of the people have seen. So I would like to know any things that were funny, goofy, something that you would not expect from her.
So I don't know if most of you know, she is very romantic, completely 180-degree opposite of who I am.
Watching those Mush movies and Karan movies,
yeah,
that's
a real deal.
It's her favorite movie.
I hope she doesn't make you dance to those tunes.
No, and she does sometimes, and she, I was pretty surprised, and this thing has crystallized in last 4 or 5 years more. She is becoming more and more, live in the moment, enjoy the moment, and she's much more romantic than I am. She does tell me, but I just say straight away, look, please, I'm not that kind of person. So she does have a funny side. She does have a romantic side, very strong romantic side. And I don't know if you guys know, but she has a very strong romantic side. She wants to go in a candlelight dinner. She wants to go for a staycation. If you guys know what that staycation is. And I always shy away from those kind of things.
It's okay. We have 10 years to make changes to that too. Right?
Yeah. We don't need to wait for that long.
But one thing that
we're going to Hawaii.
What
for a week?
Yes.
But there's going to be 3 kids there.
And then Surmay has been gracious enough to say that she will take care of the kids.
Yeah, but
Don't bring out the romantic side.
yeah, but one of the
I will
most
make up for the lost,
one of the most fun, one of the most poignant thing about our relationship. In the beginning, I was a very strong-headed guy, and I always thought that I will change Nivedita, and I am the most changed man, and I'm happy to say that.
That's what all men think. I mean, it's not different.
I think she makes me complete. I never wanted a wife who will tell that I'm always right. She's not that. She will never shy away to pull me aside and say this is an abhorrent behavior from you. I think I'm a changed man. I think I have grown much more in last 5-6 years after our relationship has stabilized. And I think most part, the 2 people who are, I think there are 3 people who are very responsible for that. One is my father. Second is my elder sister, and for majority of the part, it is Nivedita who has pulled me and said that if you really want to do something in life, you need to check yourself, or else you are on a path of disaster. And I think she makes me complete. I have no uneasy feeling of saying that today.
So Nivedita, if you're watching this, I know Sanjay said he's not romantic, but what essentially he was trying to say, if I can summarize it, is I love you. So this is his way of saying I love
I
you.
was just about to say that. I was like, Mom, this is the closest you're ever going to get to I love you.
And he's promised that he will show his romantic side when you guys are going to Hawaii. So look forward to it.
Oh boy.
No pressure, Sanjay. But you have to think about it. So we heard about Nivedita, from Uncle Auntie's perspective, from Sanjay's perspective. Now we hope to get some wild stories from Nivedita's teenage years. So over here we have Pritansha, who can better tell us if there's a wild side to Nivedita.
Yes, actually not super wild, but I still remember.
There has to be something.
No, I'm getting there. With the whole romantic side that he was talking about. When Sanjay Jiaji initially came in the picture, Ricky D would light up. Like her conversations with them on Yahoo Messenger back in the day.
Yeah.
She had printed all those conversations out. Like it literally is supposedly
So
a book or
she
something.
found her Raj.
She did. She totally did. And I think, Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, Karan Johar movies really have put a defined love for her, And I know it's a lot of pressure on you, and darn Karan Johar for that. but in the sense, she.
Then we should thank Karan Johar because Sanjay found his soulmate because of Karan Johar. If he
Yeah,
hadn't made
but
those kind of
the
movies,
pressure.
she wouldn't have said that, no, this is my ideal.
But think about
soulmate.
the pressure the poor guy feels too,
He's handsome, he can dance a little bit, so.
So she was like, she's always, she was smitten by him from day one, and I know how much she cares for you. We all know how much she cares for you. And one of the things about Ricky D is she loves to dance. I don't know if you guys know that, but when she was at TAMS, she was part of some Indian dance group and stuff. And then even growing up, I think she did Bharatanatyam and something. And one of the other stories is just imagine, we're kids in Bihar growing up when they visited back in '92. So we have 2 kids, which is Appi and Ricky D. They showed up, and then we all planned a cultural event one evening. And Ricky D and Appi come in a total Bharatanatyam outfit. We had never seen mantika to all the wares. What is going on here? But she loved to perform. She loved to be out there, So that was a big part of her. When my family moved here, I think she loved to just be out there, talk, perform. At TAMP, she did a lot of dance performances and stuff. And so I think, and then life kind of kicked in. She, met school, she got married, had surgery early on. So, she kind of had to put that stuff aside. Life kind of took over. But I think, as Gigi keeps on talking about last 5 years, and I think those are the last 5 years I have seen her come back alive. I really have. I've seen her go back into her TAMP's days, wanting to plan trips. It's okay, we'll go do this, we'll go do that. So she's kind of coming back to her elements. And I think, Rashmi and I were talking about once, and I was telling her all about the dancing part, and she's like, oh, I had no idea. Or she danced when she was younger. I was like, yeah, all the time. You play some Punjabi music and you cannot make her stop. That was a thing.
So Rashmi, next time you want Nivedita to dance, we have the story now, so she cannot claim ignorance that she doesn't know how to dance, she has to dance on her left feet.
Yes.
That's not true. But the next time you want her to dance, just make sure you play some
I can attest to that. I mean, she loves to dance, and she loves to go to places where you can get dance. You are right, Pratyush. Last 5 years, as we grew up, we found our elements. She's back to where she used to be.
Yeah, I see that older Ricky be coming back, and I think, a lot of it, I think, you probably have those 5, 7, 10 years in your life. I do, everyone does, and I think that stability is what has kind of brought her back, and I think it's the family support, right? We're all there, and I'm so grateful that we're all together in a place that we all can be there for each other. And she has a wild, funny side too, and she loves to laugh. It's she loves to laugh. You tell her knock jokes to whatever, and she wants to laugh. That's what she wants to do. And I think I've seen that with you guys, with friends, that she's constantly has crazy stories, something has happened, and she's always laughing. So
our sense of humor is too shocking for her, so I think she doesn't appreciate that sense of humor. But I've seen her, that part of her.
So Akshay, I tell you, she probably goes back home and she processes those jokes that has happened, and then she sits alone and she laughs because it takes her a while to absorb it.
So you're telling us that it's okay for us to crack those jokes.
Totally, keep on.
Or Nivedita, if you take offense, we have Pratyush gave us the insight that it's okay for us to tell you those jokes. So
I think that most of the time, and I will tell you, actually, this is serious and funny too. When I came in, for us, we think now is a different thing. But when I came in, we used to think in Hindi and speak in English. For the very first, for a number of years in the beginning of our marriage. Her Hindi was not that good. She could speak, but if I make some jokes, she didn't used to understand it. And not only not understand it, she used to take the negative of it. And it was a big struggle, right? It was a big struggle. And then, it took us a number of years and her getting better at Hindi to understand, this is funny things. I think she's struggling with the same things with you guys as well, that, she doesn't get it, but once she gets it, she will laugh. I see her that sometimes she will sit and start laughing, and I'm like, oh, what are you laughing about? Oh, I'm remembering this joke now.
So I'm telling you, she absorbs it, takes a little time, but she loves to laugh. So don't stop what you guys are doing, because it definitely brings that relief in her life.
Well, thank you, this was really helpful.
Yes, I'm glad.
So you've been pretty quiet. So I know you know most about all these stories. Nothing new for you.
No, a couple of them are actually. This dancing thing, I had no idea.
So now you're a dancing partner. So you feel like dancing at home, mom is there.
Play Mundia Throw, and you got your mom on the dance floor.
I joke.
I think I remember that from your 10th anniversary party. I think that was the most I ever saw her dance. I haven't seen it in recent years, but maybe it's making a comeback. We'll see.
So, in case you didn't realize, it's a tough act to follow. So, matching our footsteps, just so that you can process that.
You don't have to tell me that. I know. I live with all of these people. They all tell me, your mom, and she was the perfect. There has never been a day where I think my nana or my dad or my nani or even Papi Mosi and her cousins are like,
Nivedita was the best person. And I was like, how am I gonna follow that up, you know? We'll figure it out. We'll
So
see.
anything like when you introspect and you think about what you have to do, anything you wish you had that your mom has?
Anything?
Any quality, anything that's...
So there's a couple of things actually.
Just a couple?
Just a couple.
Wow.
But the first thing is definitely, I think my Nana talked about the fact that she values relationships with everybody. I've noticed that she never can say a bad thing about a person, which is very surprising given like the current world.
And trust me, we've tried our hardest to make her gossip and
It's impossible.
Spectacular.
It's impossible. And she's above it all, honestly. She's like, no. Oftentimes, like, I'll come home from school and, you know, I've had something with my friends or something has happened, and I'll be very, very angry at this person. But she's very good at calming me down and showing me the other person's perspective. She's been doing that for so many years now. She's the first person I call whenever I'm in trouble, so I think...
Hey, I thought you told me that I'm the first person you called.
It's recently, like, you know, after you left to do work, it's been her on her own now, and so every time she comes to pick me up from school first. So we often have like half an hour in the car that you have to sit with her. I have to talk with her whenever I have things on my mind. She listens to me quite openly. She never judges me, which is something I'm happy for, because I know oftentimes parents or just people in general think that teenagers can't have a feeling or feelings that are seemingly adult. Like, you can't feel this way because you're just a kid. But she listens to everything, and she's always given me the greatest advice, and so has he. And
so you didn't really answer the question I asked, but this is important to know, you know, that she has treats everybody as an individual. She doesn't judge anybody based on, you know, the age or who they are. She treats everybody as equal. So important lesson for parents, you know, treat your kids as adults and you will get the respect you deserve from your kids. So Pratyansha was listening all the time, and she suddenly remembered a funny story that she wanted to tell everybody about.
Yes, it's not, I mean, it's an event. So in 1995, they visited India. We had our mama was getting married, and, you know, as like a teenager at that point, you know, we all sat together. We wanted to, you know, talk more about like boys or something along that line. So once again, this is like in Bihar in 1995, and Ricky was telling us some stories about guys from here, and we all were sitting, and she's telling us stories, and she kept on saying the word guys, guys, guys. And I am like, why is she talking about cows? Because I had like no idea guys meant like boys. So at that point, like, I just sat there with a confused face, and I'm like, why is she talking about cows, you know? We want to talk about boys, but she wants to talk about guys. So, I mean, she was confused, I was confused. I'm sure, you know, Uppy or Sippy, if they remember the story, I was like, wait a minute. Why are we talking about cows? And she's like, we're not talking about cows, we're talking about guys. So, like, we definitely had this, like, a 30-second, a minute of confusion that guys and boys, they're the same thing. And then after that, the whole laughing thing literally happened for like 10 minutes. We're rolling on the floor laughing, realizing we're all talking about the same exact thing. But there's one more thing I want to add about, you know, other than all this about Ricky Lee, that she has, like, different layers to her personality. Like, recently what happened, she was studying for her boards and stuff, and something was happening in my life, and I was like super stressed, and I would, like, you know, like, as you all said, would call her, vent, and try to just calm myself down. So I did that, and then I went over to her house, and I saw like so many flowers and everything, and then I was like, oh, what happened? I mean, did I miss a date or something? Was there a birthday, anniversary, or a new date that I'm not aware of? So then she's like, no, you know, I had my board exam, so I just passed it. So my sister sent these flowers from California for me and stuff. And I was like, oh,
Oh, okay. So the fact that, you know, if she has something as important in her life, but she will kind of like keep it aside, thinking that what the other person is going through, and she would not necessarily discuss or make a big deal about the struggles or a lot of things that she is going through. And she will let you have it and not like, so what I'm trying to say is like, she kind of gave me all the attention, not wanting to talk about her struggles at that point, and just completely focusing on what I was going through and not necessarily talking about important things going on in her life. So it takes a lot of courage, a lot of growth, I think, to do something like that. So obviously she's very close to sainthood. So we should have a petition filed or something for that.
So we definitely will, but Nivedita, what Pratanj is saying is, enjoy your life moments as well. We know you're there for us, but enjoy your life moments, your accomplishments.
Yes.
And even if you don't feel like partying, invite us and we'll party for you. So we always look for an opportunity to party. So whatever, happy moments you have, let us know and we'll be more than happy to come with them.
Yes, share.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing that, to you, Surmay, that Nivedita and I both recognize that you were one of the reasons that we stood strong for many years of struggles that we had. So you should recognize that, and both Mama and I say it out loud. And she said to me multiple times that it was you who made her become more stable as a human being, even though she had you at the age of 23. And she recognizes it, and that's the reason I'm bringing that she will recognize that it is her weakness, and she will fix it. She has no uneasy feeling of accepting that it's a mistake in her.
Yeah, I actually have a story about that. So this was back when I transitioned from public to private school, and I was going through a lot. School was a lot. And I don't know, I think that day we had a fight in the car, and I went to school. I was so angry at her, and I can't even remember for what right now. But so my science teacher was actually someone who worked with her at the hospital. Like, she had worked with my mom in her around the time that she was pregnant with me, and then she had given birth. And so I was telling her, she was a teacher that I would go to, whenever I was having trouble, and I was talking to her, and she was like, Surmay, you cannot be angry with your mom for this right now. And I was like, obviously in my teenage brain, I was like, why can't I be angry? And she was like, because when your mom had just given birth to you, she had to go back to school, and she came to me one day, and she was like, I can't do this. I have a husband, I have a kid, and I'm not able to give this kid the love it needs because I'm trying to become something. And I have no idea how to juggle it all, but I just want that girl to know that I love her more than anything in the world. And this was really shocking to me because my mom, we say I love you, I hug her, and she doesn't like when I hug her a lot, but it was something that was really, really jarring to me. And, now I don't get as angry with her for a lot of things because I just remember that when I was literally an infant child, that she had to go back and she had to do school, but in that entire time that she was doing that, she was always thinking of me. So.
And she's done an amazing job. Juggling her career and 4 kids is not easy.
4 kids.
Including her.
Okay, the biggest one.
No, she is. Me being away right now for the last 8 months, I could not have asked. And more than often, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know, but she has kept my side of the family intact too. And there, my father and mother have stayed with us here 7 times, more than 4 or 5 months. There hasn't been a single time that she has spoken back anything to my mom and dad. And that's a great achievement. That is a very, very big achievement.
I hope you guys are adding this to her file for sainthood. So just letting you know.
I have never seen saying anything back to my mom and dad. Ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's.
I think she's more Indian than Indian growing up in India.
Yeah.
In that regard, I would say
Yeah.
that. In that regard, I would say that. See,
A lot of,
yeah, in
you know,
that regard.
Yeah, a lot of regard. I mean, I see her, and then I look at what we were when we were growing up.
And you know, so I want to tell you.
So I don't know how much of it is in her nature and how much is uncle and aunt.
So couple of things, right? It works both ways because I made her very clear that my parents are very important to her. But it's personality too. It's her nature too. I'll tell you one simple story, and this doesn't mean much, but you think about it. My mother has a lot of oral problems. Any sensible or hygienic person, if my mother takes a spoon in her mouth, won't take that spoon in her mouth. I don't take it, but she fed my mom that spoon of ice cream and then she ate it. And I asked her why. She told me, Sanjay, in the long run, it doesn't matter. It's the way how you shows empathy. And that meant a lot to me. And you know, she's a very rock solid for my family right now, and it is very important. That's what she does.
So at that point, I'll quickly add one last point, which I thought about her last night. I was thinking that whom I feel more comfortable, because now I'm 70-year-old, and one day I may have to go out of this world, either 10 or 20 years. And I was thinking that who will be the person close by towards my last breath that I'll feel very happy that time. And I do tell you, even if I have to choose, among all of us, all of my family members, I think I wish wherever or whenever I had my last breath, probably she should be close to me. That's what I felt that very strong.
Wow.
So Nivedita, I know you've achieved a lot in life, but you're just hearing this, I mean, you should pat yourself on the back, and you know, it's a special recognition, a special achievement, you know, hearing that from your father. So we heard a lot about, you know, different layers of Nivedita, getting to know her as a person. Let's really see how much to really know as, you know, Nivedita as a person. So we're going to go through a quick rapid fire. तो चलिए खेलते हैं हम rapid fire. Some quick rules about rapid fire round. These are supposed to be really quick. I mean, you can't think a lot about, you know, you have to give the first answer that comes to your mind, and really short answers. And I'm going to ask the same question to each one of you. You know, who wants to participate? Well, welcome. If you don't participate, nothing's going to be held against you. But let's see how much you know Ricky or Nivedita. So we heard a lot about, you know, how she likes Karan Johar movies and so on for the actors. If she had to go out for dinner with a celebrity, which celebrity would it be?
Akshay Kumar.
I was gonna say
Yeah, Akshay Kumar.
Akshay Kumar then, but now Ranbir Kapoor.
I think Ranbir Kapoor.
I thought you would say Sanjay Thakur.
Ranbir Kapoor.
Auntie gets extra credit for honesty. If she was an animal, which animal would she be? Quick, it's rapid fire.
Tigress.
She would be a gazelle.
Gazelle.
Yeah.
What is a gazelle?
We'll Google that later.
I don't know.
I think she has much higher instinct now compared to animals, so now she cannot go back to become animal.
She is very loyal. So which animal has a lot of loyalty? That's like a horse, a dog. She's very loyal, very loyal.
That's interesting.
What's her favorite book?
Lean in, Sheryl Sandberg.
Yeah, she's quoted that a few times. Yes.
I think she reads quite a bit, so I don't know that switch when that happens. I think she was reading recently some talking about the second mountains that she was talking about, a few months back when the breath become air.
Go on.
So I don't know. Maybe second
The
mountain.
seat of soul. The seat of the soul is her
That's
favorite.
also what.
Really?
Yeah.
You go with that same one?
Well, I don't know, like, because this is a kind of, like she reads and
She's
I
been
don't
doing
know.
this thing where she will listen to audiobooks on her way to work, and it's a lot of different types of books. Like she reads everything, so it's kind of hard for her to pick one.
Okay, what's your favorite destination? Holiday destination?
Hawaii.
Any place with blue waters.
Blue, yeah, so
a beach.
Greece that she needs to go to sometime. Right?
Yeah. Any place with
Some
with a blue
island,
water.
yeah. She's not specific about that. It just has to be island.
Yeah,
You know, with so many islands, so Uncle was very specific. He said Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because
You're
I
really
don't
very
think Hawaii is her dream. I think that her dream is to go to an island in the Caribbean. Actually,
Actually-
we've been talking about that.
She also wants to go to
Yeah.
Maldives. So,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So we have Maldives and Hawaii.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's difficult to imagine, but if she was not a doctor, what profession would she pick?
Teacher.
Yeah. I wish she had a professor, maybe, or teacher.
Yeah, teacher.
She used to teach at south side of Chicago, so she told me she was very much interested in.
This is gonna sound different, but I know that she's been interested in writing recently, so I think that she would write. She'd be an author. She'd write a book.
So teacher, author. Any guesses, Auntie?
Mostly teacher, I think.
Teacher. So thank you. This was the end of our rapid fire, and thank you all of you for joining us on इसी का नाम जिंदगी रश्मि कैसे for joining us on जीना इसी का नाम है. I hope I said it right this time, Rashmi. Thank you all for giving your perspective on Nivedita. We learned a lot. I learned a lot. And it just makes it tougher to live up to what she's in. Not just us personally, but even looking at our kids and what we aspire them to be. She's been a role model for a lot of us. Like I said, different facets as a friend, as a guide, daughter, mother, wife. So thank you, Nivedita, for bringing the positivity in our lives. Making our lives better through your influence. We really appreciate it, and thank you all. Happy birthday, Nivedita! Happy 40th birthday!
Happy birthday.
And thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashish.
you also, Jane, holding this discussion.
Thank you.
All right, we'll shake hands.
Is that
Thank you. Okay.
Happy birthday, Didi!
Happy birthday, Didi. Sorry we couldn't be there.
We are so lucky to have you. One of the things Ankur and I were talking about is just how much of a explorer you are, and you've really charted a lot of new territory for this family, and we're so appreciative of that. Whether it was, going to TAMS for the first time, figuring out how to do scientific research out here, going through the college admissions process. You really had no fear in facing all those new experiences. You did all those things and, of course, brought back all these amazing learnings that you shared with us. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it didn't even stop there, right? Surprisingly enough, you were the first sports player of our family, playing basketball, teaching us how to shoot. And playing around the world.
Yep.
And then I still remember you bringing me back that Michael Jordan jersey after your first visit from Chicago, which, made me just keep falling in love with basketball to this day. So, thank you for that. And, I hope there's more things that I can, learn from you.
Yep. And so, we know that you've been doing a lot more traveling with work as well as with the family. And so we hope that there is more travel in the future and more group trips, including us. Love you so much.
Yeah, love you.
Happy birthday. Hope you have an amazing day. We know that you're celebrating with some of your closest and some of your best friends and family. We're sorry we can't be there, but we are so excited for you. It's such a huge milestone. even though you have been wiser than your age since probably you were like 3 years old. We're glad that you're part of our life and we're able to spend some time together, and Alina is able to spend time with the kids, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Enjoy your day. Have a marvelous time. Drink some wine, and just know that you mean a lot to us. We love you, and happy birthday again.
Happy birthday, Ricky D. Take care. Congratulations.
Happy 40th, Ricky D. I love you. So happy to celebrate this special milestone with you and everybody else. You deserve this bash. I'm glad you got to celebrate in Hawaii. I just wish you more love, more happiness, more joy, and more success that you have already achieved, and even more of that. Lots of love.
Happy birthday, Ricky D. I am so happy to be here with you tonight celebrating you. You work so hard, and no one deserves a more exciting and extravagant party than you do. You've been an older sister to me for so long and have shown me so much love and compassion, and no amount of words can truly ever express how much you mean to me. So thank you so much for being there for me, and I'm so grateful for the memories we've created, and I'm looking forward to the many more we'll create in the future. So happy birthday, and have so much fun tonight, and we love you.
Camera.
Milky Mossy, I love you. Happy birthday. I love you.
मिटे जो प्यार के लिए वो जिंदगी, चले बहार के लिए वो जिंदगी, किसी को भी नहीं हमें तो एतबार, जीना इसी का नाम है, किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार।